Okay,
Great.
hello and welcome everyone to one of our gig community calls for this week, for this month. Today we are talking again about value, how to build projects that generate value. And we have with us Miguel from Brazil, from Sao Paulo, Brazil, who happens to be one of the earliest gig members. So, one of the earliest in our organization. And I'm very interested in your story because you told me the other day when we were talking that gig helped, like you came to present a certain project and it kind of helped you develop your ideas further, and then you've had a very quite an exciting journey. So you started by helping build nonprofit makerspace in a slum in Brazil, and then you co-founded a startup that enabled schools to build makerspaces, their own makerspaces, and you did this for quite a while. Then you moved on to venture building, and turning academic knowledge into companies. And the most recent project of yours is Caos Pesado. I hope I'm saying this right, which is focused on helping deep tech startups survive. And deep tech is such an interesting concept that I learned about it from you, and I look forward to learn more from you, Miguel. Before I hand over, I just want to say that this month we have this focus and theme about value and exploring new ways of making value and understanding new ways in generating income, understanding ways in which we could sustain ourselves in a increasingly complex world. So I'm very, very interested and excited about this call. Thank you very much for being here, Miguel, and I hand over to you.
Thanks so much for the opportunity, Fadia. Thanks so much, Sandra, Gabe, and Els. Ricardo, it's so good to see you again after, I think, 6 years, right? Oh, I stay a little far from the family, from the gig family, since 2019, just before the pandemic, just the life. And I think 2 months ago, I sent again a message to Ricardo and asked how could I get involved again. And this presentation could be a start, could be a way to start again to get involved. I hope all the projects, all the family has done a lot of projects, good projects for impacting the world. So I present, I have a presentation here where I want to use to explain a little bit about valuing projects, and I'm going to use my life for that, the bunch of projects that I already participate in my life. Please, you can be free to interrupt me anytime and make questions, so we can make more a dialogue, not just a presentation. That's okay?
Absolutely. We will do so.
Great.
And if you want to make it like
Uh,
a bigger screen, you could just go on slideshow on the left.
Perfect. So that's the name of the company that I found 15 years ago. But before that, I want to tell you a little bit about what I done before the company. So I have some pictures here that I put everything together. In my first project in my life, when I was in university, and I really like this project because this project showed to me what human interface means. I used to be an engineer, a normal engineer, a traditional engineer, just to build technology. And on that time, I didn't see the how could I deliver the technology to people. So from that time, I realized that better than just build technology, it's really good to understand what's human interface, so how people are going to use the technology. Because from that, it's the seed is the important way so you can get some scale, even if it's a small scale. So you guys can hear here a warehouse raised from the ground. Uh, I spent around 2 months or 3 months in an Indian tribe in Brazil, which the name is Kanuana, talking to people on that part, and they had a problem about mice and snakes because mice and snake use it to get their crops, and because of this, they can get disease from these mice and snakes. So that moment, we get
Miguel,
with
I
the
think we're losing you.
community, with the neighborhood.
Miguel,
Uh,
unfortunately, we
I
can't hear
cut.
you. Like your voice is cutting off.
Sorry again. 1 second, please.
Now
It's good
you're back.
now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So as I told you before, as I told before, so we kind of designed this technology we feed to the warehouse. We use it to use some recycled materials to contain mice and snakes. The important thing, when you build this technology, we build this kind of a low-tech technology, we didn't think about any way to get revenue from the technology, from the solution. We didn't think about any way to get grants. The first thing that we thought is just to create value to the people that are gonna use the solution on that time. But we lost, but we got failed. Just a few people from the neighborhood used the technology because the main feedback was about the construction process and the maintenance process that was not well
We're
taught
we're
to the
losing you again,
neighborhood.
Miguel.
One thing that I
Maybe
learned from the after.
maybe you can turn off your camera and just try speaking for now, and we're gonna do the same.
Mhm.
Okay, start.
Let's see if it's better now.
Better now.
Better. Perfect. I hope so. So talking about the second project I had in my life, the Solar Innovation Organization, the I was like already after the university, so I left the university on that time, and we started to build low-cost solar panels made from recycled materials to slams. So the beginning of my journey, I always was working to people that lives in the slums. I have a lot of knowledge on that. And the interesting thing that we got 15,000 grant from the IDB, the Inter-American Development Bank, without to sell any units after that. So we just got we got the grant to build the technology. And after that we build the technology, we try to sell to people in Islam. Again, we got fail on that project because when we talk to the people inside of the Islam, they use it to say that the technology was well done. There is no Islam wasn't beauty enough to put on their house, and also it's hard to build. And when you think about standard of shower in Islams in Brazil, electric shower is cheap and easy to install. Sometimes for people that coming from outside the country, it's interesting or it's surprised to see that in Brazil use the electronic shower, but it's pretty normal in maybe mainly in the basics in the basic parameters of Brazil. So the most of people that use that lives in Islam they use electric shower. So another learn it from here because uh, I realized that even that my focus was totally to get impact if if I don't think a lot about create value or create really a thing that people want to buy or want to use, I was going to depend just from grants and just from investments. So from that moment, I start to see kind of project that I could start using grants or use investments, but also after the project gets some momentum, I could sell something to people, and these people could uh, could give revenue for the project and make the project works for the time. So this was my third way or third project that I was involved with. So as Fadia said, was kind of an innovation space, innovation center, a maker space inside of a favela, of a slum, and in Brazil. Wasn't it the same slum that I used to work before in the other project that I showed before, but was closer to that. And I started to do some relationship with the community's members, and after that, I got a grant from MIT to build this kind of a space inside of these labs. I'm gonna show you a video of a one technology that we built there. And the goal, the focus of this space used it to be create innovations from the people that live inside of the community. So innovations from innovators from the community to people that live inside and they are member of the communities.
Ele não pode mostrar.
Pode falar dele?
As you guys can see, this video shows a kind of a support to money and cell phone directly connected to the bicycle. Bicycle is a normal way to go around in the communities. And sometimes it's harder to use something that it's easier to show the cell phone inside the bicycle. So they kind of did a prototype here where they could put cell phones and other things to go around. So this space was done in 2014, 2015. Actually, because of this project that I got involved with GIG, GIG family, and I went to 2015. So these Viennese lamb innovations from the community to the community. The idea is that sometimes the most of people, at least in Brazilian slums, they live, they sleep in the community, but they work outside of the community. Our goals with this space is to build a space where they could stay inside of the community, building technology for the community and make kind of the money or the capital go around just inside of the community. For this project, we got 200,000 grants from MIT for 4 years project. And one of the goals was make this project get revenue and go alone in 4 or 5 years. That was one of the goals. So this project don't depends just on grants and investments for the rest of the life. So we try a lot to think about different business model that could make this space survive for itself. Sometimes was hard thinking people to leave to pay to use this space. And as you can see here, and the main feedback that we got from adults this space, because we would like to engage innovators and entrepreneurs, was that adults would they didn't like they didn't like a lot to stay in this space, but children and youngers they started to go to this space to build their things or their creativity or their own technologies. So that was the main side that we received from this project. Adults and people that olders they don't want to use the space, but younger people they want to use the space to build low tech technology. I'm gonna show you another video of another project There are children inside of this space, and because of this insight is directly related to the product that I'm gonna show later, where we started to build maker space inside of schools around Brazil. So just one more.
Vai.
Aqui tem telescópio, né, TP? E aqui vem um espelhinho e outra espelhinho. Ele reflete daqui, ele bate aqui e vai pra frente de novo.
Certo.
Vai mais pro lado. E aqui eu só peguei um. Essa latinha, né, TP? Risquei ela, fiz um molde, aí risquei o papelão, cortei. Tô fazendo várias voltas de fita de papelão.
Certo.
Aí saiu isso daqui. Fiz o periscópio.
Bota pra mim o periscópio dentro. Vamos ver se a gente consegue filmar.
Põe assim, deixado. Põe dentro.
Isso. Legal.
E fizemos um microfone aqui, ó, do airbag do carro tem um isopor preto. Fomos cortando, pegamos um pano, colamos. Um microfone fizemos aqui, tipo acho que colocar fita. Tipo uma alça.
Bacana. Willis, e mostra seu microfone aí. Como é que você foi feito?
Fez um pano, pegamos isopor, como já disse, com airbag de carro. Airbag não é. Ah, sei lá. Aí a gente usou fio, pegamos no cano, barbante e isopor. Aí a gente fez a caixinha que é para regular o som. Aqui aumenta e abaixa, equilíbrio e desliga.
Legal, bacana.
Great. So as I said before, we build a space to engage community members to build their own technology inside the community to solve problems that they have day by day. But we didn't get to engage these people, but we engage a lot of children. So we got that insight and realized that on that time, because of the maker movement, at least in Brazil, some schools started to look to the maker space as a new era, as a new phase of the robotics and computers space inside of the schools. So we got that idea and started to show this project to some schools around Brazil, and they started to like a lot, and they started to build their own maker space inside of each schools. And more than that, it's not was just a space to build projects, was a space to teach soft skills, because when we are building projects, it's possible to learn a lot about soft skills. It's possible to learn a lot about creativity. It's possible to learn a lot about resilience, about team group, and all that stuff. And at least in our culture, we don't see a lot these training soft skills until you leave the university. So bring this kind of way to learn soft skills through PBL, project-based learning, still in the K-12, still when children are in the elementary schools and basic schools, was a new way to see to the maker space, and they got a really momentum and movement. So that created Navia Vela, and Navia Vela was interesting because some part of the profit of Navia Vela started to pay the community space, the innovation center inside of the community, to keep the innovation center growing up, to keep the Vila Nova Esperança Innovation Center inside of the Islam happening for the other years along. The first picture here is a picture that was took up in the in the in the in 2015 Berlin. In the right side, you have the one of first form of our team of Navia Vela, and the bottom you can see the picture of the whole team in 2019. So it was a really good journey because just from one insight that children can use better a makerspace, at least in this form that we saw, we could expand this movement around the whole Brazil. And currently, I know so far that Navia Vela is one of the biggest brands of maker movement inside of schools, at least in Brazil, in in particular schools. So, what was interesting on this the insight that I learned, I can start with grants, I can start with investments, but if I don't see a lot how to create value from what you're doing to someone that could pay, in this case, we create value to the schools because they didn't know how to innovate on that moment. Um, I just I will get failed as happened before in the 2 or 3 products that I showed before that I didn't get to go along. So I started to repeat that in a scale way. On that moment, so after Navia Vela in 2019, we sold that company to um, to a not that, it's a big company in Brazil that used it to sell services to schools, and we created this one that we call Caos Focado in a way to repeat what you learned from Navia Vela as a normal company to doctors and also to researchers. I already had some knowledge about technology and I like that, but the Deep Tech way came from my partner, which the name is Diogo. You can see in the picture above. And we created this kind of team that helps doctors and researchers in Brazil to create value from their research to the society. When I say create value, when I say delivery, I'm telling you to create some kind of organization, kind of a startup or kind of company that could provide as a product the tech that this researcher or this professor built inside of the university walls. So Calçocar is a deep tech venture builder that creates startups at the intersection of science, technology, and impact. Over the past decades, it has partnered with pages research to transform cutting-edge discovery in fields like computer vision, artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and the Internet of Things and scalable companies serving the agri-food and healthcare industries. Why agri-food and healthcare? This is one of the 2 big markets in Brazil, at least, that needs really deep technology. If you add education area in Brazil, in my opinion, these 3 areas that could be the 3 areas that is easier to create impact in Brazil. Before, just show you a video from Navia Vela, how the Navia Vela is currently in the country with providing some solutions to the schools. It's easier.
A gente entende que existem muitas inovações na educação, então desde softwares de gestão, espaços diferentes, técnicas pedagógicas, enfim. Só que existe também uma educação para a inovação.
A gente está reescrevendo o currículo da escola e dentro dessa reescritura de currículo, a gente tem muito forte um currículo maker também. Não é só língua portuguesa e matemática.
Quando ele entra nesse espaço, ele sabe que tem regras, mas que ele pode criar. Então, ele aprende a fazer, ele aprende a analisar e saber se tá bom, se não tá bom.
Além de sair um pouco da nossa rotina escolar, a gente faz coisa que a gente gosta e que, tipo, a gente sabe que é um projeto legal e que pode ajudar alguém ou resolver algum problema real.
Esse tipo de atividades makers dentro das escolas, na verdade, vem da confluência de 2 grandes movimentos da atualidade. Um deles é olhando para a forma como a gente lida com tecnologia, né? Então, a gente pode entender que os alunos já estão imersos no ambiente tecnológico da cabeça aos pés, né, no seu dia a dia. Só que o grande problema disso é que, muitas vezes, a maioria das vezes, no papel de consumidores de tecnologia.
A gente vem sempre tentando mostrar a tecnologia de um modo aberto, né? Ela do avesso, né?
So there's a part is good. So you guys can understand how the technology or how the solution came from the idea of the slums to the schools and how has created impact in the last years. The interesting thing about Caos Focado that before when you create value from the Nova Vela, we founded this company, we entrepreneured this company. But the idea with Caos Focado is how you can create more Nova Velas, create more entrepreneurs journeys and ways to the researchers and also to the PhDs created their own company and their own Navavela. So this is our method. So we divide any way to start a project on these 6 phases. The first thing we find now, we search someone that want to entrepreneur, someone that want to create a company for the first time. After we find this someone, for example, in the Navavela, we built together, but Lucas, that was my partner, he was the CEO of the company after we got the idea. So in the search, we find professor and PhD inside of the labs in universities and use their brand. I'm telling you using the brand, but it's not just that. But we do a lot of workshops. We do a lot of brainstormings together to try to create different ways to provide to deliver the technology to the society, even in different markets. We call that phase of genesis. And this momento genesis, you guys can see some green color below the genesis. DPT means design, product, technology. All these squares means how much effort we put in each part of the phase. DPT, we just focus in deep design, product technology. CRM means commercial, CS, customer services, and also marketing. F and G is financial and government, and G means people. Now we call gente gestão, but in Portuguese, English is people. So the idea is to show how much energy we use in each phase of kind of a project or a startup to make this company grow up. So in the first beginning, we have the genesis phase where we try to find a concept. In MVC means minimal viable concept. And the second part we call discovery, when we diverge a lot in different markets and with different ideas and with different ways to sell the same technology for different people. So I can see how create different ways to deliver value from the technology to different people. And here you guys already can see the blue square getting a little bit more effort because it's necessary to really talk to the market to understand what is possible to deliver. After that, with 1 year and 1.5 years, we have the validation phase where you can reach the MVP, as the market knows the MVP, minimum viable product. After we have the traction, when you get to repeat the technology or better the product for different people from that kind of market, and the end you have the structures. So if you analyze Navavela spend its journey passing through all these phases, and we got to repeat the same history with different companies in our portfolio. So this one of the company or the startups. Communtiy is a computational vision and AI to increase the productivity in sugarcane areas. So it's pretty normal to have a sugarcane and in Brazil. And Communtiy got to fly drones around crops and get images to understand where it's possible to find seeds. Seeds is the plant that's not good when you are cropping some of the sugarcane. And with Communtiy, it's possible to decrease the use of herbicides inside of the crops. I have a fast video here also to show a little bit about Communtiy. I left in the mood because everything is in Portuguese, but it's easier to see. So here you can see kind of the technology taking pictures from a drone above these crops here. So the red square, you can see the part where the seeds appears. So it's necessary to put herbicide on that part to kill the seeds. You can see a kind of a technology happening inside of the seeds. Sorry, when I say seeds, I mean weeds. And that's it. So it also brought other people to create to different companies, different startups. So we made Onima together with Isabella. It's another researcher here from the USP University. Digital platform for managing occupational health exams and collecting data. And we sold this company in 2021. Also, we brought João Macedo. He came from the Ceará, very north from the country. And he built a technology that's possible to get muscular strength from people to the health area. It's interesting because muscular strength is one of the way to see quality of life in the longevity because longevity has talked a lot about muscular strength to see a quality of life in the to longer. Also, we brought Janaína. She is a PhD in biofabrication, so bioprinting, and he knows how to do biofabrication of animal-free human extracellular matrix, I mean collagen, for the regenerative medicine and cosmetic industry. And we also had built this technology together with Janaína. And finally, to give more time so we can talk and also I can get some questions about what I have done in the last years. One of the really hard challenge for a deep tech, at least in Brazil, in the early stage, is about to get investments, at least in the, let's say, angel investments around 500,000 reais, 1 million, 1 million reais. So we got to start this kind of impactment funds to, in the very beginning, invest in our own company and also invest in other kind of deep techs around in Brazil. So help more researchers, help more doctors, help more people that came from the universities to keeping doing their own technology and deliver this technology to society. So I think here I'm gonna finish my presentation, and I want to get more questions or some talking about ways, different ways to deliver technology or deliver tech to the society, create value for people. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Miguel. This has been super interesting. Wow, what a journey. Can you please stop sharing the screen so we can go back again to discussion mode?
Great.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. I have some questions, but I'm gonna postpone my questions a little and open the floor for gig members who are present. I see Abhinav also joined us. I think this would be very interesting for you, Abhinav, if you've already like attended part of the presentation. Ricardo, Gabe, what questions do you have? What came into your mind seeing the work that Miguel has been doing in the past years?
Well, I know Miguel and his trajectory up to the Navia Vela, you know, and I'm such a fan of Navia Vela. I always been, and I always use it as an example of a nice way makerspace can go into schools, can go into more practical mode, you know. And now watching to this next phase of his work, I was thinking around here, reflecting on how we can portray this to other members from the network, you know, because most of the times this work of the makerspace leader, the makerspace hub manager, is very focused on their own lab, you know, so you have the Arduino is not working, you have to pay the bills of electricity, you have to get children to the next course and this kind of thing, but you miss this gap between industry, new technologies, and society, you know. And I think at this moment, what Miguel is doing is really connecting these dots, you know, especially between high-tech industry, because when we talk about crops genomes or you know, science for health, you are dealing with high tech for human impact, but at the same time, you have the perspective of a local innovation hub. You know, you didn't miss it, that thing from the favelas of doing things with people, for people, and find nice solutions. And I think this a kind of, I know there's no receipt, you know, but I was wondering how we can amplify the impact of many maker spaces and innovate, let's call innovation hubs from the gig network to being able to do this as well, you know, because, okay, one option is, for example, yes, let's replicate the products from Miguel in another context, or let's amplify the market for the genomic crops in Indonesia. But this is just one step, you know, and I think the main thing is how can we foster this innovation hubs to think out of the box and remember at some moment we are in the top edge of technology, you know. People in makerspace, for example, not necessarily uses deep tech technology, but they know it exists, they know what's the solution they can provide, you know. And maybe what would be this step, this gap feeling, how we can fill this gap. So all of this to perhaps make this question to Miguel, you know, when you made this step, Miguel, what was the moment that you thought about it? You know, say, whoa, I can go deep further and work with genome, work with public health and this kind of thing, you know. When was the moment and what was the thought you had to go into this space? Sorry for the long question.
Oh, no, no, was really perfect because you could like give all the context so I can answer your question. So I think I don't know the right moment, but one thing that I would like to say is that I can say that I'm not the best guy in each technology that I works. I'm not the best guy. I'm not the best one doing the bioprocessing. I'm not the best one doing the IoT thing. I'm not the best one in do the AI. But I know that around me, I have the best ones that do that. And these people, they are not the best ones, and they know about that to connect with the market. So they know about my value to create product or at least value about what they are doing to connect to the rest of the society. So one thing that I saw, at least in the maker space that I had to work in last years of my life, the most of the time you have the technology guy or really the deep guy taking care of the space or taking care of the real deep technology inside the maker space. But I don't see another one, or I don't see a partner, or I don't see other people around this one trying to create value to outside about what this someone is doing inside of the space. In the very beginning, I had the same problem in the maker space inside of these lands because I had there one tutor, one professor. His name was Tempei, and it was amazing. The main technology that he did decide and help the community members to produce was wonderful. But he didn't have the right skills to, hey, how can I how it's possible to sell all these technology inside of this space, all this knowledge to outside, to other ecosystems, to other space. So I started to make that position. I started to make that function for this makerspace. I'm not telling that I'm a seller. I'm not telling that I'm a commercial guy, but it's necessary to have some skills of design to understand how I can dress in the best way what a makerspace is doing to connect to outside and create value to outside or to other people or to other companies, as you said, or to other makerspace. I really believe that makerspace could be one of the supplier chain in any kind of chain that we think. So if provides if provide agri-food or provide health technology, it's possible to have some kind of makerspace on the chain, on the net, on the ecosystem, really create value in a part of that. But for that, we need to see to outside of to other ecosystems and not the makerspace ecosystem. So for me, that's one of main principles structure to really think how to create this connection from the space to outside, Ricardo. I don't know if I got to answer your question in the best way, but what coming to my mind.
Yeah, definitely. You are not a seller, you are a bridger, you know?
That's the point. I like your word. Yeah. I'm kind of a bridger. I understand the two parts. Hey, let's build that. Any more questions, guys?
Gabe, I'm very interested if you have some input on what you've heard today and why were you interested to attend this call specifically?
Yeah,
Go ahead, Gabi. Sorry. Go ahead, Gab.
I think Gabi has a question. Abhinav also has a question. I hope Abhinav is not driving, you know?
Yeah, I mean, she's learning right now, so I'm a bit. But Gabby, you can go ahead, and I'll ask mine later.
well, mine isn't a question, but I'd really like to find out more because we also do a makerspace for kids, but it's been slow for us. Not much uptake in the country. It's just us, and even for us, there's not much traction. So I really just want to study your approach more.
Let's talk, Gabi. We can do a meeting later. I can show everything. I can provide all our materials to you, the insights about which schools you could use. Or maybe sometimes not schools, sometimes can be outside of schools, sometimes can be inside of the curriculum, sometimes can be outside the curriculum. Actually, so all these hypotheses and tests, we did a lot here. So let's talk. Let's help.
Wonderful. I'll get your contact details.
Thanks. It's been a pleasure.
Amazing. Niels?
Abhinav?
Or
Yes, mine now. All right. So, the really cool model, Miguel. Um, So there is one sort of a platform which you're trying to build for also getting early adopters who not only adopt a technology but also co-create it. I I think so. Is that something that you also offer to the people who design these technologies, like say the to bio startups that you spoke about? They might be in early stages and they might not even have the technology there. I mean, it's TRL level, maybe 2 3 4, probably something as low as that, and they want to get to 6 7. And how do they get there? And like, in order to do that, they need some sort of grant, some sort of funds, or most importantly, some sort of a co-creator who understand the industry problems. So do you think like that sort of a partnership is something that you offer to your startups?
Yeah. So one important thing, Abhinav, that I need to say, the most of time when you work with deep techs, they don't have a lot of chances to make mistakes because different of the digital, when you do mistakes to deep tech, you lose a lot of money. It's not just money as money, but it also lose time because it's not just like push one button and it compile everything. Some take days, take months, take years to make tests and see if these tests is a good way or another good way. Because of this, the we work with deep tech, you need to make less mistakes. We need to make more good ways to go to reach a phase where it's possible to show some numbers, can be commercial numbers or can be product numbers or can be tech numbers, to stimulate, to engage people outside the ecosystem to invest or to give more grants. So because of this, the focus of our company is to work together with the founder of the technology to make this founder not go in circles and keep in circles for a long time before to find a way to create a company. Because the company or the startup really like die when the researcher, the PhD, stay in circles for a long time because lose money and also lose momentum and also lose motivation. We have a lot of examples here in Brazil of researchers or of PhDs that try to get create some startup or some initiatives, but after years, 2 3 4 5 years, they just stop because they cannot find a way. They cannot find, I'm going to use the word that Ricardo brought that for me it's really good, a bridge to outside of his ecosystem to make that technology create impact in society. So it's important to make some more straight for a success to keep the company keep growing.
Right.
Okay.
And does it also help for you to also partner with, like, say, corporates to help them with like their venture building, because they don't have the startup culture, and corporates definitely want to incubate more intrapreneurs within their company, and they would want to create spin-offs, but they don't have people like you. Have you explored something like that?
No, I didn't explore, but I know that no one. Sometimes we think that people are supermans. They can build the technology, and they can build they can be the bridge. They can also get investment. Sometimes I feel that this kind of the. I'm so sorry what I'm going to say now, but it's kind of a American culture where someone can do everything. I really believe more in teams. I really believe more in teams. So this someone is good on this that one is good on another thing. Organization is better than just one, the superhero. So if you think about what you just said, to get this one that knows the technology, the first thing is find some other people that could be impressed and admire just someone that knows about the technology. to build the bridge, outside, to test the other bridge. And with that, start the organization. What I may do, my job, I think mainly my job, is to find the right people to build the right teams, like organizations, and leave these organizations flow. When they are flow, they go ahead. It's good. Great.
Incredible. Very,
Any more
very
questions?
inspiring, Miguel. Yes. Any more questions?
I have just one thing for Gabby, and of course for others. I shared on the chat a link to a post about Navavella from some years ago in the Gig blog, and has some kind of brief but nice information about how it worked in a way, you know. I remember it was written in a format very how other makerspace can add it to their portfolios or similar things, you know. So it might be a starting point so you can connect with Miguel. And Miguel, can you please share your email here?
For sure. Right now.
You late.
Thank you. I actually don't have a question at this point since we're approaching the end of the call, Sandra. So if you have a question, please go ahead. Otherwise, I have a remark. Okay. So yes, I did have some questions, but I actually decided to postpone these to another thing. And me and Ricardo were just texting on the side about, you know, your experiences really embodies a lot of what Gig is about as a journey. You coming in 10 years ago with certain ideas, with the right kind of values in mind, ideas, and then taking up the ladder in a way until you've reached that level. That was very inspiring. And I think this journey is something that I would like to study myself, because I think it's important for me to see it as a community manager of this community, but also see how we could make use of your journey so that we help other Gig members who are making their own journeys and trying to bridge that gap between value and sustainability and projects that are still effective but can still be sustainable businesses. How could we do that? And we're going to make use of your knowledge. So this is my remark. Like I'm going to think of other frameworks and ways in which we could use this in a more structured way, let's say, and more methodological way. That's the word that I was avoiding to say. But anyways, thank you very much, Miguel. It's been very inspiring. Thanks to all our attendees today for making it. As usual, we're going to have the recording of this session shared later on this month, accompanied by a great blog post that will summarize the learnings from this call. And we look forward to stay in touch with all of you, specifically you, Miguel. Happy to have you connect again and share more of your knowledge, and maybe hopefully we also to inspire you.
So do a last comment. So I'm gonna be in Singapore in 2 weeks. If someone's seen the video and is in Singapore, I would like to meet. It's my first time there.
I was just there a few days ago, but I'm not going to be there in 2 weeks.
Okay.
But please share on the WhatsApp group, Miguel. Please share on the WhatsApp group, because Saad is there. Saad, you probably remember Saad. He will be there, you know? It would be nice to meet.
Yeah, I want that. Fadia, Ricardo, thanks so much again for the opportunity. I love the conversation. I love to share the knowledge. And I also want to learn from you guys in the next lectures, in the next presentations too. Okay?
Thank you very much.
See you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you all.
Bye-bye.